Welcome to the Sheer Society podcast.
This is a podcast for stylists, dreamers, and doers.
My name is Sherry,
And I'm Brittany.
We have two wonderful guests here on our show today for episode number 4. Maddie over here. Hi. And Christine.
Hi. Welcome.
Welcome.
Happy to be here. We're excited for you guys to be here.
Yes, very exciting.
Yes. So we'll start with Maddie and we'll kind of work our way this way. So Maddie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How you got into the industry, how long you've been doing hair, what is some of your favorite things, and what are some things that you look forward to?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been doing hair roughly about 4 years now. I have known that I've wanted to be a hairstylist ever since I was probably 5 years old. I told my whole family, I was like, that's what I'm going to be. And I actually went to college first. I did get a marketing and management degree before I went to hair school. And then I went to hair school, worked in a salon before here, and now I'm here at Sheer Studios. And I absolutely love it. It's everything I could have dreamed of. I do feel like my marketing background helps me a lot in the ability to be able to reach more clients and stuff like that online. And I just really love what I do. There's nothing better than making people feel good and being artistic every day. I think there's truly nothing more exciting than that.
That's super exciting. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between Brittany and I, and then between you and Christine. So, Christine, tell me a little bit about yourself and a little intro on how you found Sheer Studios.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry coming up on 11 years. Kind of the same thing as Maddie. I have a degree in marketing and always wanted to be a hairdresser. It's funny that I kind of never realized that about you either. Like, we do really have like that similar of a story. When I was a kid, I wrote in my we had made time capsules in kindergarten, and I put in mine that I wanted to be a beauty salon lady. And I just wanted to be a patron, but yeah, I ended up, being the service provider. And then I started cosmetology. I went to college first, started cosmetology school at 22. And it's just been all up from there. I've been in different salons in my 20s, moved out of state for my spouse. And then upon coming back, I kind of just had this, like, where's my next journey? I have something bigger that I want. I'm craving bigger. I opened my own suite for a while, and I still, they tell you in the industry or going rental or being in a suite is, that's it, and I reached for those stars, and they weren't the stars for me. And I took a tour here, and it was like my body Bluetooth connected when I walked in the door. I love it here. I've been here since September, and already my guests, my vision of myself, I've a 180. So
I love that.
Yes, that's where I'm at right now.
You know what? I think it's great you said that, though, because I feel like where I started out at, I was there right out of hair school, and I knew no different. And I feel like it was a great starting place for me, but that goes to show that where you start at might not be where you end up, and that's okay. There's always room for growth, and I think that's a great segue into kind of what we're going to talk about today, because growth is always the right route to take, I think. For sure.
I agree 100%. But I gotta say, like, this Bluetooth thing, like, are you human?
I say, this is home.
Because we were having a
Wi-Fi connect.
But just, like, Bluetooth little...
Yes.
Okay, please tell me. She already told me her answer. Don't answer this. Have you guys heard of the movie from the 80s called Batteries Not Included?
No.
Oh my gosh.
See?
I'm a 96 baby.
It don't even matter. Like, I think this one, see? You have to, like,
You don't have to say it out loud. Keep that to yourself.
Because we have these cute little Bluetooth things that we're going to attach and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But when you told me you're a Bluetooth queen practically just now, I wanted to know more about that. But anyways.
Maybe she needs to be our tech department. We're like hairstylists. We don't do tech.
My soul Bluetooth connected to this one.
Amazing. That's awesome. Okay. Sorry. Back to hair. I just had to know.
So, Maddie and Christine are both mentors here at Sheer Studios, and I think that that's something that's really it's something that's really important to me. So, I would really like to know kind of the why behind why you became a mentor, what that means to you, and what that means for the next generation of stylists.
Yeah, if I can start out real fast, I think that it's a really good example of why it means something to me because at the salon that I had started out right out of hair school, I had no mentor. I was completely on my own. It was a sink or swim kind of place. And while I might thrive in that environment of throw me in and I'm either going to do well or figure it out, there's no other option, I feel that I wanted to educate. I love education. I love everything about sharing what I do know. I love growing myself, learning myself, but I feel like there's something really nice about being able to put your best foot forward for people who are coming right out of hair school, especially who do not know a lot of things because when you're in hair school they really teach you how to pass your boards, which is great, but you might not know how to formulate or how to just do a lot of things like the luxurious way, luxury language, and how to communicate with a client in that level. And so I feel like after my experience of where I started at coming here, I really want to be able to grow other people because I know what it's like to be on your own. And I feel like being able to share what I know will go a long way for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I think something that you said is really important. It's like that sink or swim mentality, which it's great to have that, but also how much more beneficial is it to have someone who's already made all of the mistakes? They have been there, done that, and you have someone teaching you to kind of like skip that part.
Yes.
It's kind of like that do what I say, not what I do
Mhm.
type of situation. Like we made the mistakes for you, so you don't have to.
Exactly
So
right.
like giving them kind of that blueprint in order to be more successful more quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
For sure.
You kind of took the words out of my mouth a little bit of just like skipping. Sherry always says, we make pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah.
And having somebody that you can come to that isn't going to judge you, you can ask there's no stupid questions, but that you can ask real questions, be a human being with
Yeah.
behind the chair.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the first 3 years on the floor after school is so important, whether or not it creates a love for the industry or takes that away. And I think depending on the love that you're given and shown and cared for as a young stylist, I think it's just like with children, those
Yeah.
first years are so detrimental. I want to be that for somebody that I didn't have,
Exactly
kind of like what you
right.
said.
I think it's nice too because while I was in an environment that I could ask questions, there were people there. I didn't have one set person really showing me the route. And that might have worked for me. I think I turned out okay. I'm doing very well.
You turned out amazing, not just
Thank
okay.
you. But I want to make sure that other people have the opportunities to not feel lost because I do feel like there might be some people who, in a sink or swim situation, might not swim
Sure.
if they don't have that opportunity of help. So I think that's really why I love educating. I just think it's so exciting because everyone I think has something to learn from everybody, no matter how long you've been in this industry. This industry is always changing, trends are always growing. And it's just nice because not only am I teaching, an associate something, but they could also be teaching me something.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether that's hair related or life related or anything. And I think that that's just a lot of fun,
Definitely.
Fresh eyes too.
Yeah, exactly
Absolutely.
right. Yes.
And I love too that you said that sink or swim because I was also a sink or swim baby kind of thing, and I don't ever want anybody to feel that way. But what's really unique about this particular situation, us four right here, I see leadership skills. Like I see a lot of value in you guys. So I am going to come at you just a little harder. You're welcome. Because you guys have that. You have that in you, and you guys have that sink or swim. You guys have that passion and drive to teach people, and that's a really, really huge component of our brand, our sheer Shear Studios and our Shear Society podcast and magazine. Like that's really really cool. So not only have I seen growth in you guys and the associates that you guys bring on, but it's personal, it is business, it is behind the chair, anything. Like it's really neat to me to see or hear when an associate comes to me, oh my god, Maddie just leveled, can I share a post? I'm like, yeah, you can absolutely share. Like you should always hype up people around you, and when you do that it just means that much more, like something's working. So keep it up.
Absolutely.
But to add off of that, I think being in this position too helps me refine myself. I think it's putting me in a different chapter to refine myself, to step into a leadership role that I haven't been given before, and be led in a mentorship type of way by you guys. And it's kind of just like I take the next level up kind of thing with it.
Like you talked the other day with just casually about like setting the next bar
Mm-hmm.
and X, Y, and Z. I'm like, yeah, we talked, on the last podcast about 10% more, just there's always something that we can do as an individual or for business related, to set the standards or set the bar a little bit higher, because that's fun and growing. Like it's a challenge, but it's fun.
My husband and I always like to say, like, if we do something that's challenging, we're like, okay, that expanded our brains. But I just think it was one of those brain expanding moments, being here, and then being able to give that to someone else, see it through their eyes, and then feel it also in the middle of like, I'm getting it from you guys and then I'm passing it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. I think that provides a sense of safety, if you will. Like we talked a little bit about that in a couple episodes prior, is just having that kind of feeling of safety and security when you have someone that you can go to, that you can bounce ideas off of, without it being competitive. What do they say? Like collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
Right? So having someone there that is there to push you, to help you grow. I have found a lot of value in that in my life over the past couple years. Is, to me, I at this point equate love with how can I help you be better?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not love if somebody sees something in you and allows you to say the same. That's not love.
No,
right?
It's not.
It's comfortable, but there's no growth there. So I think that kind of like, if we're talking about why we became mentors and things like that, it's because we love what we do and we love these people coming up behind us. So we want to give them that. We want to push them to be their best. Pressure isn't pressure is a gift.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I think being uncomfortable is a lot of people do not choose to discover that emotion enough. Saying that we've had that talk about like discovering humility and losing your ego, and I think that is so. I know that this is such a beautiful industry, and yes, we make ourselves look beautiful every morning and make other people feel beautiful, but it's an inside job too that we have to teach young professionals of, you have to check your ego, this is also an inside job as far as coaching as well.
Absolutely.
I think what's really cool too is, Sherry aside, as a business owner, all three of us have came from a place where we were comfortable, I think. And I feel like we all made the decision, if we do not leave, we will not grow, because comfort kills growth. And I feel like that's really how all of us, whether you've been here, a year or less or a little longer, it doesn't matter. I think all of us have seen growth in ourselves, and that only will translate to associates. They're only going to see us doing great. They'll see themselves grow. And I think that's a really cool thing, because I was very comfortable where I was at before, and there was nothing wrong with that, but I knew I wanted more for myself. So I needed to push myself to be different,
I've definitely seen growth in everybody here, like more particularly the mentors here, because I expect that much more out of you guys. Like it's that pressure again, and I'm for it. Like I love living in that, as you guys all know my background, like just whatever it is. I won't tap into that right now, but that's where I thrive in the most, like when it feels the most uncomfortable. So when I hear somebody do an X, Y, and Z, I will find that opportunity or that miss of doubt, and I will crush it. No, you can do it. stop denying yourself. Let it happen. Just do it. Like here are the tools.
Yeah.
But Maddie, she's one of our OGs. Like I think it's really really cool and how much you have grown. I won't go into that unless you want to, but just how much you have amplified. And I'm just gonna say, not even as a person, but numbers.
Yeah,
Numbers, like,
thank you.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Absolutely. And that's something I did kind of want to bring up and talk about, just because even though I started where I was previously to here right out of hair school. So, of course, right out of hair school, it's going to take a good 5 years of really building. But I kind of was looking at some numbers the last couple of nights just to kind of see where I was at and where I'm going. And I have quite literally doubled where I was at in the last. Yes, so exciting. So I've been here at Share roughly a year and a half since we opened, and previously where I was before, a year and a half in, I want to say, if you're okay me talking numbers,
You're fine.
I was doing like 70,000 in sales, max. Whereas now I'm at like 120,000 in sales. So it's like, really, I was comfortable and there's nothing wrong with that. But if I wanted to grow, I knew I need to push myself into a different environment, something a little more luxurious, something that challenges me, something that I'm really being present every day that I show up. I don't want to just clock in and clock out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be involved. I want to do more things because that's only going to elevate me as a person and the people around me. And I didn't want to just be stagnant and comfortable. So I think that's just, to me, a great example of why I love our salon. Like, I mean, there's so many benefits, but that alone as growth in a career, I mean, for me to not even be, I think, 5 years in yet and already be where I'm at, I'm very blessed and very thankful. So I couldn't have done it without Cheer. So really, I think it's very great.
But you allow yourself to push yourself
Yes.
through those limits.
Yes, that is-
so
yes.
you see through PDMs or through like things around you, you take it. Like you take every opportunity that you possibly can. And sometimes people shy away or get scared or get nervous. But you're like, what can I do? What else can I do? Can I do more? So in those behaviors is those people who notice the most benefits.
Absolutely. I think numbers is a big part of that too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a numbers person. Yeah, you don't have to be a numbers person, but I love numbers and I love looking at my numbers because I feel like that really lets me see how I'm doing. And I feel like that's the biggest part of somebody that's growing is checking your numbers, seeing where you're at, seeing where you can do different things to help yourself grow.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's
Definitely.
cool about that is like the numbers that you like right now, or I just had my highest December that I had. I've been here since August 1st, and I hit my highest December by a couple $1,000. But I can't wait for in 2-3 years to that be my new comfortable. To that be, you said you hit $120,000 after a year and a half of that being you looking back on that and going, that's where I was comfortable, and we're just always raising that.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like if we're only here for our short term that we have and we're doing that well,
Mhm.
what's 5 more years gonna say?
It
What's
is
10 more years
immediately
gonna say?
rewarding too,
Yes.
because even yes, I feel like I'm putting in the work, but I still feel like I have so much more work to put in, and the payoff that I've received mentally and in my numbers is just it gives you that drive. It's what feeds that drive too. And definitely your mentorship has changed my life. I've been looking for my leader my whole life, and I feel like I finally found it.
Oh, you're you just like my coasters.
No, yes. So one thing that Sherry has taught me in life is that a coaster is probably the best thing that you can have on a table.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, you go to your friend's house, you don't want to dirty their table.
No.
Like, coasters are so
It is like the easiest
You need
form
the
of
support.
showing. Yes, it's the easiest form of just showing a little like class is a coaster.
Listen, go to your mama's house and take a coaster. Mama, I love you.
If I put a coaster down at my mother's house, she would be like,
Are you okay?
Okay. Okay. You don't make clean water? Okay. You are now my new favorite child. I love that. But it's really cool to see everybody grow, even such a short amount of time. And Brittany as well, they talked about their numbers, and I know you're our newest addition, but I've known you for a long time, right? Like we've traveled the world together. So I think I'm excited to see what your future brings here too. And I
For
think
sure.
we've already, you know, encompass that segue to what it's going to look like for your future as well.
Do you guys remember any benchmarks in your careers of like the years that you hit? Like starting a cheer is going to be a benchmark for me always of like, okay, this is when I felt like I took a step and it paid off for me. Whereas like, do you guys have benchmarks in your careers that you feel the same?
I want you to have one job. I want you to be able to enjoy your time off. I don't want you to feel burnout because that happens. Like, I used to be, well, again, it goes back to my history. I'm going to make it work no matter what. And this is what I wanted to work. This was always in my heart, my goal, and here we are. So you talked about benchmarks. Sheer Studios was a benchmark. I knew it was coming. I was just about pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
So here we are, the perfect spot. The minute I found out it was open, my broker didn't even find it. Larry found it because he's like, you know, like we're gonna do it and we're gonna go hard. I love that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
love
feel
that.
like as much, I mean, for us to only be a year and a half in,
Insane.
I
I
mean,
feel like I got into something that I'm like, how did they let me in here? And I'm a part of this. It's just like the imposter syndrome too of like I've wanted this my whole life and then I finally get here and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta
Let's
step.
go.
I gotta step. Like a lot of hurry up.
Let's lock in. That's
Lock
yes.
Lock in. Do not mess this opportunity up. And I think that's where my passion comes from, especially like my respect for you guys. I'm just like, anything you tell me, I will do. Let me know what it is.
Yeah, my
And I'm
shoulders,
there.
my traps are tight. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I kid. No, not really. Just on Mondays. I'm kidding. Okay, for real. We can go to the shop together. No, it's just awesome. It's really cool to see it come to fruition. Everybody driving and fitting in these positions that we are all in. I've talked about people using it as a job versus career, or if they're not doing it the right way, it could be a very expensive hobby. I don't know. I am very confident and very excited for where we're going, and I'm glad that everybody trusts the process.
Definitely. Yeah, I think benchmarks are huge. I think sometimes they're monetary. Most of the time, they're monetary. Honestly, we all have different places we want to be within our career. But for me, one of them was becoming an educator. That was one thing when I first started beauty school. That was something that I envisioned myself doing. It's something that's really important to me, that really speaks to me. I love education and all different forms, not just within the industry. That's partly why I went to school, is just because I like to learn. So that was probably one of the biggest benchmarks for me, is just becoming an educator and being able to share my years behind the chair with other stylists. Not only that, just the passion of it all. I mean, there's so many people who have been in the industry for a really long time who have just kind of lost that drive, who've lost that passion, who've kind of lost their why.
Set their ways.
Yeah,
maybe?
set in their ways. Yeah, and so it's cool to not only share my experience with new stylists and stylists who have just started, but also stylists who have been behind the chair for ages. I think it was you who said, there's something we can learn from everyone, whether they've been in the industry for 2 days or for 20 years. We all just have that kind of collaboration, which I think is really cool. And I think that's one of my favorite things to be a part of within our industry.
I think the community here is very nice. Like, we have a really nice age range of us who are a little bit older and some who are a little bit younger, but it doesn't matter necessarily the ages when it comes down to it. It's like there's always some learning going on, and I think that that's really exciting. I mean, we always are offering continued education. We all get to like teach a class. Like, it's just fun because everyone has something to benefit from other people for.
I agree. And with the teaching, when you said all of us get to teach also, I think we learn so much educating ourselves.
100%.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you have to study because I know me.
Definitely.
I'm like, oh god, I wrote my notes down for today, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna go for that. But you learn something about yourself along the way, whether it's a technique, a style, a number situation, or just how you present yourself. There are so many things that go into public speaking, being in front of somebody, or teaching the future generations on how to, what to, and why to. Like
Yes.
that's
I
neat.
really love it too because I feel like there's a lot of minute things that we might do every day and not even think about why we're doing it. We just do it naturally. And I feel like when you take a step back and you're really like, whoa, that might seem the smallest thing, but somebody else might not realize why I'm doing that or to do that. And when you explain it, like when you actually break down things as an educator, I feel like it goes a long way. It really lets everyone see, like, yeah, I did this with my comb and my foil to do XYZ and make it tighter. I don't know, just anything little. It's becomes kind of second nature,
Mhm.
habit. You don't realize almost that you're doing it. But I feel like as a mentor, the cool thing is having people with us and watching us. It almost makes us critique ourselves a little bit and not in a bad way, but just okay, yeah, like somebody's watching me, it gives me the opportunity to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing, even if it seems like common sense.
For sure.
Mhm.
It's made me see or how the little things, like you said, the little things that you do constantly, but the wow of it. I think there was a couple of instances last week that even my associate was just like, what? That is such a simple little hack, and you're just like, I do this all the time, and you just, I think it reinstills my magic in what I do and your service and how luxury can come off to somebody who hasn't seen what luxury looks like.
So we were talking about mentorship and how we all have made mistakes and we all have faced challenges in our career. What are maybe some things that you have faced, some challenges that you have overcome, and how you did that?
Absolutely. So I feel for myself personally, when I was in hair school, I unfortunately went to school during COVID, and there was not a lot of opportunities I think that I could have compared to people who might have gone to school not during COVID. We had a lot of rules and regulations as far as how many people could be in the building at a time and things like that. And I do unfortunately feel like that gave me a little disadvantage of learning things that I could have learned. We could only have so many clients at a time in the school. And so I feel like when I got out of school, I was on my own. Yes, I could ask other people questions in my salon, but ultimately I was really on my own for everything. And I do feel like there were times that I did stuff on clients and it really was learning moments for me based off of what I did. Like, okay, that didn't look bad, but next time I would do this to learn how to do that differently. Or what can I do to better myself based off of the outcome of what I just did? And I feel like that's something that I really kind of not struggled with, but really went through myself when I first started out. Like, that was a big challenge for me because I kind of felt like I really was starting from scratch, not really knowing much coming out of school. And I do feel like sometimes girls come out of school and are very prepared, and sometimes they come out and they're not as prepared. And that's okay, but I think, again, that circles back of why I wanted to get into education because I don't want people to feel in a position that I was put in.
Well, and I feel that makes you an even better educator, like having the history of a rocky start and
Yeah.
then being able to achieve what you have. I think that says a
thank
lot.
you. Yeah.
Definitely.
And we're always growing. We're always learning for sure. I'm still always growing and always learning. We kind of talked earlier. There's not a time I work on a client and I don't think of what I could have done to better their appointment. Whether it's hair color, whether it's intelligent language, or just presenting myself in a certain way. So, always growing. But I think my biggest obstacle starting out was definitely right out of hair school. And I'm glad that I'm in a position now where I'm very comfortable and know how to execute my job in a way to get results that I want.
That's awesome. Can you guys be honest and tell me how many times you dream about your clients?
Every night.
Every day.
Every night. I dream about them the night before.
I need to go there.
No, there are times where I
Every
will
night.
I will have some clients reach out to me online and tell me their inspo pictures and show me where their hair is currently at. And I am not kidding you. I dream about what I'm going to formulate for them. Like before they even come in. My brain is always on hair. Even when I'm not at work, it's always on hair.
You're an
And-
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's also what sets me aside from a hobbyist versus a careerist. Like my brain is 110% always thinking about this and how to better myself. And all of us, yeah. Yeah.
Every day.
It doesn't shut off. It is always on.
Every day I wake up and I think about it. I'm like, okay, how am I gonna get it? How am I gonna do better? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? How can I
Yes.
influence? How can I help?
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. When we go out, I like to pick up chicks. Like this is just what I do. I pick up chicks. I think was it you?
Yes, I think I even put it on my
She
schedule.
wrote it down on her schedule.
Pick up chicks.
I'm like,
That's what Sherry calls going somewhere and marketing, and I just think that is the cutest, funniest thing. And
don't let my husband say it. I love it. I love it. Oh yeah. We in trouble.
I think some of the struggles that I faced in the industry is I've always had this passion and I've always had this drive and of wanting more, and I feel like that energy has always stuck out like a sore thumb and it sticks out more when you're in a place where you're not surrounded by like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've almost been like looking for love in the right places because I'm a loyal person and I want to be led and I want to be coached, and I feel like I've had three big stints at other salons in my career. And first one was okay, that was my first one. It gave me my love for the industry. And then life happens and you have to go other places. But ever since then, it's like I've just been following my heart and feeling like I'm not getting that back. Almost like I'm like riding or dying for salons that aren't feeding me. I'm feeding everyone else, but they're not feeding me. And like for instance, one of my salons that I was at, it was required to work every other weekend, and I knew when I came back to Missouri that I want to build fast, and I had the time to do it. I don't have children, and so I decided I'm going to work every weekend. And I hadn't stopped working every weekend, so I stopped now, and I became top earner in a year. And I think that other people can see that as other people can look at someone's drive and see it as intimidation. And
It's like I get offended.
yes.
Don't get offended.
Don't get
Get out of
offended
my way.
because I am top 20 and you're bottom 80. I don't know how to tell you that. And I think that energy pisses people off.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with you guys, I finally found a room that I am in. I am not the smartest and best in this room, and I love that. I am tired of being in rooms where this sounds so cocky, but I'm tired of being in rooms where I'm the best. I don't want to be. I want to be low. I want to be low, and I want to be taught, and I want to be better. And I feel like I've just been craving leadership, and I just need.
Yes.
You give me an inch, I'll take it a mile.
That's the beauty of our salon space though here. I think we always are pushing each other to be our best. And yes, it's competition, but it's healthy competition. It's not she just did this and I cannot believe I haven't done that yet. Or it's not a negative connotation. Like all of us here are so genuinely happy, I think, for everybody when they're pushing their accomplishments. And I love that because we're all growing. No matter what stage we are at, we're all pushing ourselves to do better. And all of us around each other are pushing to do better. I love that. I don't think that we have that, oh, here she goes again, doing XYZ, being better than me.
Yes.
We don't have that here. And I'm
I feel
very
like I
fortunate
never
for
have
that.
been in a space where like getting more or achieving more was a congratulatory thing.
it was something to keep on the low, and it wasn't celebrated.
No, we
I want to
can't
say,
celebrate that.
yes, absolutely celebrate that. And I think the difference is it's not competition, it's motivation.
Yes.
There's like a huge difference between competing with someone else and being motivated
I'm
by.
competing with myself.
Yes, absolutely. It's being motivated by their drive and their accomplishments, because ultimately, I think we're all called to different things. And if I'm called to something, you're called to something, you're called to something, you're called to something, there is no competition, because I need to run my race to the best of my ability. I see you doing your thing, and that's awesome. That motivates me to do better at my thing. And while we're all in the same industry, I do believe that we all have different callings within this industry. So when it's not a competition, it's collaboration, therefore it becomes motivation. I'm motivated by you. I'm not intimidated.
Right.
It's not a competition.
Sorry to
No,
interrupt you,
go
but
ahead.
even like these amazing women are getting a chance to go to Amsterdam and be educators for Balban, and they get to spend a week there and hang out with really cool people and bring back some really amazing education. And I told Brittany, I said, that is such a cool opportunity. If you need someone to carry your bags, let me know. It's the ego thing of like, I know that you've paid your dues to get to where you are, and I am willing to pay my dues to sit at the table that you're eating at, you know, and let me carry your bag. Let me clean your tools. Let me clean your brush. Like, I just want to be in that environment, and I want to prove that I can be in that environment with you, you know, and
I love
But I
Share
think
that
that's
space.
what goes a long way. As Sherry talked about, kind of service over serve us. We're in the service
Yes.
industry, and a lot of times people get lost on that. They come into this industry wanting to be kind of a superstar, and don't get me wrong, there are superstars in our industry, and they do big things, and that's awesome and that's great. But at its core, it's a service industry. We're here to serve, so nobody gets anywhere by being the biggest and being the best. You have to start somewhere, and it starts with service.
Yes. I think there's a very fine line between confidence and cockiness.
Oh,
And that neither of them are necessarily bad things. It's okay to be very confident in what you do and maybe have a little cockiness, just of like, I'm confident in
Self-love, baby.
Yes, and there is nothing wrong with that. But I do think at the end of the day, it's like too much of something can be a bad thing.
For sure.
In the sense of thinking that you're top dog when there's not 100 other people that can replace you.
Correct.
Our industry is a very big industry. I mean, there's
especially our area. We have
there's
amazing-
100 salons per
Yeah.
square mile around here. I mean, yes.
Everybody does great.
Yes, and so I think that just goes to show cockiness and confidence might not get you everywhere you want to be. It's good to have a little bit of it,
Yes.
but there's a very fine line of riding that line versus being that, but also being humble about how you got to where you are and not just thinking, as you said, I loved what you said, not everything is earned. You don't come out into the industry just assuming I'm the best that there is and I'm going to get everything that I'm going to have. Unfortunately, I think some people come out of hair school thinking they're going to be a six-figure stylist without putting the work in. And
You have to put the work in.
Yeah.
Nothing's given.
Exactly. And that's not a negative thing.
No.
That's a very gracious thing, I think, to be able to put the work in to get there. But I think that fine line is very important.
Don't walk out thinking you're beep beep. Don't stink.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't know that you guys stated on your first podcast that, you know, you're Christians, and I always lead with like, okay, Jesus touched the foot of the lepers and clean feet.
Yes.
And I lead with that every day of like, are we cleaning feet today? Like, I know that it doesn't sound glamorous. This may look glamorous, but there are things that you have to do that aren't glamorous, and that is okay, and that's what makes you human. That's what makes you servicing other human beings, trying to feel beautiful, having the worst day of their life, and this is where they want to come. And I think if you lead with that, opportunity will fall, because positive energy is going to meet positive energy, and it's going to marry into something beautiful.
I love that you said that, because I think a lot of the time it circles back to you could do okay hair, but be a very great human and service people, and they're gonna keep coming back to you as you grow as a hairstylist. So it's like you could constantly be learning as a hairstylist and growing, but if you're servicing your guests in a way that they feel appreciated, they will always keep coming back to you and support you in your journey and your growth as a stylist.
And that's what allows you in the future to the luxury of getting to go different places, or like for me to be able to move to sheer studios and not lose a single client. It's because I have locked them down. They're obviously they can make their own decisions, but I have created this bond with them that I'm going to take care of them and that they can come as who they are in my chair and they're going to feel beautiful every time, no matter what building I'm at. But the next building I take them to is going to be.
And that goes back to leading
Home.
with service. And I think that's what a lot of us here do best. Yeah, definitely.
I think we were all anointed into a particular position, whether it's leadership, growth, education. We all have amazing things to offer behind the chair and out of the salon. So not only is it growing somebody for a technique, but it's growing them as a person. You talked about, not going out of hair school and thinking you know all the things, because you don't. You have a lot of life to learn, even though you're great and you're doing good so far. But baby, you're a baby. Let's learn together. Let's pour into these individuals and give your guests that come see you and support you what they need. Don't reschedule them because you have X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm here to teach you accountability is huge. So big.
I think a really big part of starting out as young stylists, no matter where you are, is putting in the time. And we've talked about this many of times here. It does not matter what industry you're in, whether it's this, real estate, it could be anything, owning any other business, you have to put the time in and the dedication in to go far. Nothing is handed to you, especially in service driven industries. You have to really, really put your time in. And I think that that's really the most important part, because if you're not putting the time in, you're not getting it back later in life.
Well, and it's not just time. We say time, but what we really mean is development.
Yes.
Because what happens in that time, it's development if you use it correctly, right?
Absolutely.
So you come out of hair school, you know what you know, and it's very minimal compared to, the longevity of a 20-year career or something like that. But a lot of it is developing your skill, developing your craft, developing your character, developing who you are as a person, because it's not just hair. A lot of it is that connection aspect of it, which is huge.
You're so right.
It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is just it's development. Like I said, within your craft, within your character, within who you are as a person, development and confidence maybe, or development and humility.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's that.
I think you can't have accountability without humility in a way, because accountability takes looking inward, and it takes having the ability to say that you were wrong, and the discernment to know that there's a better option than what that you have foreseen for yourself, or that you think is better for yourself.
For sure. Like you said, because if you can't be humble enough to admit that you made a mistake, to admit that you don't know it all, then that's where it ends. So if you come out of hair school, for example, and you think you know everything, that's where it ends for you, and you're going to have a very short career.
That's so true.
Okay, but if you have enough humility to sit there and say, okay, this is an area where I need to grow, then what comes from that growth? When we're developing ourselves, when we're developing those skills, we have more room for growth. Whereas if you come out of hair school and you think you got it like that, that's it for you. I mean, that's as far as you can go. You can only, something Sherry and I have talked about is you can only go as far as the amount of truth you're willing to accept about yourself.
Yes.
So if you're willing to accept pressure, to accept the bad, to accept areas where maybe like you don't have it like that, okay? That's something that I've been going through a lot over the past couple of years, is like, hey, this is an area where you need to grow. Does it hurt? Yes. Is it true?
Yes.
Also, yes.
Truth hurts.
Yes, the truth hurts, and pressure isn't comfortable, but there's also no growth unless you're uncomfortable and you're willing to accept those truths about yourself.
Absolutely. I think the really nice and cool thing is you can come out of hair school and have confidence.
For sure.
Confidence is going to give you a lot, but you have to know it's not expected to just be given to you. You have to have the confidence to put in the hard work, put in the long days, go out
Sustainability.
go out and find clients on your own when you have days where you're sitting around doing nothing. It's not going to be an easy journey, but I do think if you come out of hair school having the confidence, but also, like you said, the humility, that's when you're going to really push yourself far from the others. Because if you come out of hair school and have neither of those, you're really you're really not going to go anywhere. But it's good to have a healthy mixture of both.
Absolutely.
But knowing that I'm going to go far, but it's not knowing you're going to go far without doing anything. It's knowing, okay, I'm going to go far, and how do I achieve going far? What do I need to do to get there?
For sure.
And I think like your team picks up on your
Oh,
coachability. No one wants to be around someone who, you know, in our case, you know, it's as simple as putting a basket of laundry in front of somebody and then they don't fold a towel. They're scrolling on their phone the whole time. And it could be
Crash out's real, right? I'm about to crash out. No, I'm just
that's how simple it's.
Yeah.
It's as simple as
simple task.
I have a note in my phone. It's a quote about like folding towels.
Yeah.
And it's just like the beauty and the monotony. And
Yes.
like how much of a blessing is it that I can just sit here in this amazing salon and one of the tasks that just makes me a team player is folding a towel? That it's as simple as that.
Have you ever heard a thing where I don't know if you maybe, but you know, here I go again.
I was gonna say if batteries not included. No. We don't know about that.
If you sprinkle when you tinkle, be it sweetie and wipe the seat.
I've never heard that. Have you
Oh
heard
my
that?
God. You did
I
it.
unfortunately have. I just
It's like
but folding towels, yeah. I think
the seed of beauty in those little things. Like that's what matters to your team, and that's what is like. Those little things speak so loud. Not that you just like bust out the most beautiful. Obviously,
for sure.
you should bust out the most beautiful balayage I've ever seen. But cleaning up after yourself, that's what takes care of your.
That's a team.
Yes, it goes back to service, not
Humility,
service.
yes.
And if you think you're above folding a towel, well, then everything else is above you.
I still
If
fold
you-
towels.
Yes, correct. If
I
you
still
can't
get to
fold a
scrub the
towel,
floors. Yeah.
then if you cannot fold a towel as someone who uses a towel every day, as a team member who uses a towel, your team uses a towel, what do you think that people are expected to do for you? If you're above those small things, the big things are above you.
Mm-hmm.
That is
So real.
biggest
That's
truth I've heard.
deep.
If you can't clean your station after you're done servicing clients and expect other people to do it for you, how are
Not
you
it.
going to grow as a person?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. Simplicity compounds. And if you can't continue or even start little tasks like that, how in the world are you going to do bigger things? The hair, dealing with a client that's going through something. How if you can't fold a towel or chrome, you know, I like those shiny chromes. If you can't shine those chromes
Get on your hands and knees and wipe your chrome.
I do.
Get.
I
I
do.
know.
I would never
too.
make anybody do something that I don't do. So when I see a complaint, I'm not gonna say who, when, where, why, or if that is even happening, but when I see somebody complain about a side task, I'm like, but I do it.
I don't have the youngest knees in here, and you'll see me crawling on my
Girl,
hands.
I'm on there.
Same.
Like Cinderella.
And also, I think it's just a presentable thing in general. It's like we want to work in a space that looks nice. We want to present a space that looks nice. We use luxury language. We charge luxury prices.
And can I just say that luxury is in the details?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Luxury
Yes.
is not loud. It's not all of the
Yes.
big.
Luxury is going
Grand
to the
things.
bathroom, and there is a full roll of toilet paper on.
Yes, luxury is the base of your station is clean.
Yes. Before every client comes to sit in your chair.
Before.
Yes.
That is key.
Yes. Before you have 30 seconds to
Yeah.
sweep under your chair before you go get your next client. You know, just stuff like that. I feel like it goes a long way. You know, just making sure they're double draped so they don't
A
get
coaster.
anything on a coaster.
My God.
Yes.
We love it.
Yes.
Everybody
Propped
do.
up.
Yes.
And I think our team is the easiest people that we can practice our hospitality on.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
you can't take care of your team, or you come in, you've had, you know, and
I got you.
yes,
I got
or
you.
you haven't had a chance to sit down and eat your food.
Hey, take a seat. I'll stand up.
Exactly. I'm hopping up like
Yeah.
my booty's on fire, so you can sit
hope
for the
your booth
5 minutes
is-
that she has.
Our salon is very good.
Very
about
good.
that.
So good.
Yes.
Yes.
I think there was so many things that we addressed, whether it was like, different things, how to better ourselves as service providers or people, but growing our mentorship program and the people that we mentor is amazing. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for episode 4 of the Sheer Society podcast. Yes. We wanted to end on a special note. Brittany, do you want to go ahead and ask these wonderful ladies about their ending?
Yes, definitely. And last question. So when you look back at your younger self, what would you say to her in terms of where you're at in your career? Are you surprised by what you're doing? Are you proud? What would you say?
I love that. No, I am not surprised by what I'm doing, but younger me would be absolutely ecstatic to see how far that I have gone into what I've always dreamed of doing. I mean, since I was 5 years old, I said I was going to be a hairstylist. So
I love that.
younger me is screaming and cheering from the rooftops. She's so happy. Younger me always said I was going to go to New York and take a class and do things. So I know that I'm on the right track, and younger me is very proud of myself.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
I always think about like younger me and like how much she did so I could be here. And I'm never trying to like lose that feeling of like the second you forget where you were, it takes away where you are, whether or not you still feel like I still have a journey to go and a career to build, but she got me here.
Mm-hmm.
I more so just have gratitude for her.
I love that.
She took care of me.
I got you to where you are now, so that's incredible. So keep shining, keep doing wonderful things, both of you, all three of you. I'm proud. Like, I love that you guys are here, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, until then, episode 5 coming out soon. Bye.
Bye.